Angela Yee is running late. Come on, Charlemagne.
Peace to the planet. It's Monday.
Yes, it's Monday. Back to the work week.
Word is born. I'm a little tired tonight. This morning.
You were in bed tonight? This morning?
I don't even know because I stayed up late last night because I was watching my Aunt Simpson on TV1. Actually, I started watching TV yesterday at 7. So I was watching part 2 of the Aaron Hernandez special.
Okay.
Then I watched my Aunt Simpson on TV1. Then I stayed up to watch the season finale of The Shot. So needless to say, I'm sleepy right now.
My goodness.
But if you have not seen that Aaron Hernandez special, Lord have mercy.
I see part 1. I didn't see part 2 yet, so don't say nothing about it yet. Man, I didn't finish Shy. I fell asleep on The Shy.
Well, let me tell you, Aaron Hernandez was a allegedly gay, gang banging,
correct,
serial killer,
correct,
NFL player with CTE.
Yes, that's
Jesus,
all
right. He checked off all the boxes.
All the boxes.
I don't know how to feel about that though. Like I don't know what the point of that special was, other than it being tragically entertaining. I don't know what they was trying to get off with that special.
Well, does the family get money off the special somehow, some way? Maybe.
I have no idea, and it didn't make me feel any sympathy for him, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what was the point of that special. Maybe they were just trying to clean up his name a little bit, you know what I mean? Because he got kids, and they don't want the kids to think that their daddy was just some psychopath,
right?
You know, so maybe that's where the whole CTE and everything came into play. But I don't know what the point of that special was, other than it was tragically entertaining.
All right, okay, all right. Well, shout out to everybody again from Hampton University. I spoke at Hampton University over the weekend, and then yesterday. Or Saturday, I should say, I was in Chicago. Now, I haven't been to Chicago in 10 years.
Hey, you go to Chicago yesterday and don't watch the season finale of The Shot.
I know. I hit Lena Waithe. I was looking for the bodega that I could actually take a picture with, but she didn't hit me back and let me know where it was. I wanted to take a picture out there.
I was ask somebody. I'm sure people in Chicago know. Like, why where the bodega that little dude got killed at in The Shot?
But I wanted to speak to her because I wanted to make sure I could go in that area and take a picture. I didn't want to go in the area and be a war zone.
Oh, listen. How do you know Lena got the pass for you?
I was asking.
Lena might be getting the pass to be
there. Right, but I was just going to ask her. I wanted to know.
All right.
But shout out to everybody in Chicago. I had a great time. It was St. Patrick's Day Saturday, so it was ram-packed. I ran into Safari. Safari came to my club over the weekend.
Safari was in Chicago celebrating St. Patrick's Day?
He had a show, and see, he's booked up.
Yeah, y'all a couple. Yeah, that ain't normal.
Well, he had a show.
Just randomly have a fun.
Yeah.
First of all, what Negroes get booked for St. Patrick's Day events?
Hey.
Ain't no black people should be getting a book for no St. Patrick's Day
My
events.
last name is Casey, so they booked me
My
immediately.
last name is McKelvey, and I still ain't never got booked for no St. Patrick's Day event.
I had a day party, he had a night party, he came through my day party, I came through his night party.
I'm sure you did.
See?
I'm sure.
You know what?
I've been thinking about you night and day. I'm thinking about you.
You know what?
It's I'll Be Sure.
I know it's I'll Be Sure.
Drop with a club for Uptown Records. I was your original beige god.
All right, when we come back, we got front page news. He is not here, and I'm not prepared because I thought she would be here.
Oh, we got a guest this morning, too. Judge Faith Wright.
That's not her name.
Judge Faith Jenkins?
That's not her name. You were so confident with that. Judge Faith Wright. Judge Faith Jenkins will be joining us next time.
Judge Faith Jenkins, hello, good morning.
And also, we have a new family member joining us this morning from Killen, Texas. Did I say that right?
No. You didn't.
Well, what is it?
I don't know. I know it ain't Killamall, Texas.
I ain't said Killamall. I said Killen.
You said Killamall.
Oh, Kylen.
Kyleen. Yes.
We're all over the place this morning.
Well, thank you, Colleen, Texas. Thank you for putting this little ghetto-ass, trash-ass show on in the morning. We appreciate you. What we at now, 85?
85. 92.3 to Z, the #1 for hip-hop and R&B. Colleen, Texas. Shout out to you guys. When we come back,
85 markets and growing.
That's right. When we come back, we got front page news. Powerball tickets. Somebody won. Hopefully, as you will tell you about it. And also, Cirque du Soleil, one of my favorite things to watch. Somebody fell to his death. I'll explain when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlemagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Alright, now NCAA, I don't know if you guys are watching, but let me tell you what's going on the 22nd and 23rd. 22nd, Kansas State takes on Kentucky. Chicago takes on Nevada. Florida State takes on Gonzaga. Michigan takes on Texas A&M. Alright, on the 23rd, which is Friday, Villanova versus West Virginia, Texas Tech versus Purdue, Kansas versus Clemson, and Syracuse versus Duke. What you got your money on this year?
I don't know what's going on. I haven't paid attention at all.
Me neither.
What is it, the Sweet 16 now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations to everybody in the Sweet 16. Clemson is a South Carolina team, but I don't root for Clemson because I'm the University of South Carolina type of guy.
Okay.
But, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Syracuse. I mean, I'm a Hampton University guy, but they never go this far, so, I'll go with Syracuse because they're from New York. All right. Now, Powerball ticket, one was sold in Pennsylvania and it was worth $456 million. Now, the cash value was $273 million. Could you imagine winning that?
I thought about it on Saturday because as soon as I left the gym, I went and played.
Did you get any numbers at all?
I don't know. What were the numbers?
22, 57, 59, 60, 66, and the Powerball was number 7.
I see all these numbers on my ticket, but they're not in the order I need to win. I do have a Powerball.
What you mean not in the order? Oh, you mean?
I got a 22 on here somewhere. I played 5 numbers, so I got a 22 in one number, a 57 in another number. What was the other numbers you named?
59, 60, 66. And you got any Powerball 7s?
I do have the Powerball 7.
All right, well, the one with the Powerball 7, you got any of those numbers?
The 7, what? 27?
You know what? I'm not missing.
I got a 20. I got the Powerball 7, and I got a 27.
There's no 27.
Oh well.
I said 22 and 57.
Well, I won $3, nigga.
There you go.
That's all I'm trying to tell you.
Congratulations to you. Give me a round of applause. You won $3.
You never know. All right. $3 is good for something.
Now, Cirque du Soleil, that's probably one of my favorite shows to take the kids and watch, but it seems like an acrobat fell to his death over the weekend. He was performing in Tampa. He was doing one of the ring things, they said, where he was holding on to the ring and he spins up in the air. He's been with the company for 15 years and they don't know what happened. He just brutally fell to his death in front of everybody. It was a live show, so they rushed him to the hospital, but he didn't make it.
That's got to be traumatizing for people that were there and saw that happen.
Absolutely. I never understood why they never had anything protective, like a net under it or anything, a harness.
And I'm sure they got to sign something that says this is all on them, because they got to know the risk that they're taking, right?
Absolutely.
Like, I'm sure that Cirque du Soleil wouldn't be held responsible for the deaths of any of the people in the circus.
Yeah. All right, well, and that's your front page news. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset, you need to vent, hit us up right now. Maybe you had a bad weekend and you just want to vent, or maybe you had a great weekend, you want to spread some positivity. Whatever it may be. 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
This is Ashley.
Hey, Ashley. Good morning. Get it off your chest, Mama.
I'm very mad at you today.
Why are you mad at me, Mama?
I was going to get married in January, and my sister started emailing you to come and DJ at my wedding, and we had a budget of, I don't know if you would have done it, but we had a budget of $5,000. The whole thing we would spend on the DJ. And you did not respond to her at all.
Wow, you need to get new management in.
Well,
they just leaving $5,000 on the table.
Yeah, we would have charged more than that. But we don't do weddings, Mama. I'm sorry. We usually don't do weddings. I think I did one in the last 10 years. I just don't do weddings. It's always a lot into doing weddings, and the time amount for me to stay is usually what I don't do. But I'm sorry he didn't get back to you. Definitely should have got back to you, Mama.
What do you got to play at a wedding? You only got to play one song at a wedding.
You stay there 4 hours, 5 hours
for one song.
You gotta play the reception. There's a bunch of different things you gotta do.
I don't know
what. When's the wedding? When's the wedding?
It was January 20th, so we already got married.
Oh, well, congratulations. Maybe an anniversary. I'll DJ an anniversary for you guys or something. But I'm sorry, Mama.
I was drunk at my wedding. Now that I think about it, my man D-Nice did DJ my wedding, but I don't remember what he did. What the hell did we pay D-Nice for? Now that I think about it.
No, I mean, you got to DJ the songs that come out, and you got to DJ the song with the bride and the dad.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I only remember 1 or 2 songs.
And then you got to play reception. Now, you're there for 4 or 5 hours. That's a lot of time. So for me to be committed to that time, I got to charge you. And I can't charge people like that, so I just don't do weddings.
True.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, this is Jabari from Detroit.
What's up, bro? Get it off your chest.
Yeah, I just want to say it's blessed, man. We all work. I'm a young black man, no kids, no criminal record. Y'all stay up out there, get your money up.
Okay, brother.
Why you don't got no criminal record, man? You ain't trying hard enough.
No, stop it.
I know my parents. I grew up in South Africa. We was missionaries. You know what I mean? My dad just instilled in me to help everybody every day, bro.
Oh, congratulations, sir.
All right, brother.
Say y'all keep doing your thing.
You too. Hello, who's this?
What's good? What's good? Envy, this Rajar, New Jersey.
What's up, bro? Get it off your chest, man.
I'm just mad about a couple of things.
Go ahead.
This morning, they're not working. We out here pushing this water for the spring. The water's heavy. It's bad out here, but the real reason that I'm mad is I hit a pothole in my BM.
Oh.
2 crack rims.
Oh.
2 flat rims.
Oh.
It was ugly. It was ugly.
Yeah, it could always be worse, sir.
Yeah, it could be worse. That's why I'm still blessed. I'm still out here.
To be honest with you, I only like to say I don't know anything else to say in moments like that. Like whenever things are bad, like it could be worse.
Well, do you got tire insurance, bro?
Nah, I had changed the rough flats and put some regular tires. No, I had no stay. I had to leave my joint in the hood, come back the next day and get it.
Hey, what's
that's how you know he had a 1996 BMW then. He said BMW, but he ain't tell you what year. What year was it?
07, 650. I got the tire in my pocket, so man.
Yeah, nobody's feeling it.
You're 11 years old, but it's still run. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's still run clean. I keep it clean.
There you go. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
What's up, MG?
Hey, Trav. What's up, Trav?
Nothing much. What's up, Charlamagne?
What's up, sis? How you?
How was the weekend?
Good. And I booed her yet, or ye?
Nah, she late. She had an event in Puerto Rico last night, a benefit concert, and her flight got delayed. So she be here late, I'm sure. What's up, though?
Okay. I'm just calling to talk about, I'm mad at my cousin, man.
Who's your cousin?
I've been mad. Her name is Tanisha, and I've been mad at her. She's from Camden, actually.
What's she doing?
I've been mad at her for like a good little minute because me and all my cousins went to go see Black Panther. I remember it was like just about a month ago.
Okay.
So after Black Panther, she went to like Family Dollar and bought these T-shirts and put this little quote on them with these little ugly letters and this little ugly iron-on African thing, and she been selling the T-shirts, right? Mind you, the T-shirts are like $2, and she been selling the T-shirts for like $30.
What's wrong with that?
Why are you knocking her hustle,
What's wrong with
Trav?
that? If it looks like a $30 T-shirt, there's nothing wrong with that.
Trav, why are you knocking her hustle?
We're writing on them.
Well, people are buying it. They see what they buying.
She's mad because she want me to, no, the family been buying them because she been going on a tirade about people not supporting her black business.
Well, first of all, you should be happy that she's trying to make a way coming from Camden, New Jersey. That's number one. And number two, never claim your family from Camden, New Jersey.
There's nothing wrong with her. Like, I'm just saying, don't get mad at me because I don't want to buy a T-shirt that looks nice. That's all I'm saying.
Support her black business, Trav.
That's not really a black business, but support her black entrepreneur.
Thanks, Trav. She got a little business. Hello.
Yo, Andy, what up, man? It's Lorenzo from Brooklyn.
Lorenzo, man. Get it off your chest.
Yo, what up, Charlamagne?
What's up, my brother?
Everything good with Yee, right? She alright?
Yeah, it should be in a little bit. You better not talk about the shot. I know you want to talk about the shot. Don't tell us about the shot.
Nah. I'm not. I just want to say, man. Yo, you know that was a good season. You know what I'm saying? We blessed to have that season, and you know everything that's coming out now. You know, I need all of the shows to be like that. I need it to be the things to be unexpected. I need everything to be nice and fresh, man. And Charlamagne, yo.
Yes.
I have a few ideas, man. I'm trying to get next to you so I could throw some ideas with you at the wall. You know what I'm saying? And get your opinion on them.
I'm always down to hear some new ideas, my brother.
Yo, so how do I get in touch with you one-on-one? You know what I'm saying?
Go to my Instagram and email the email in the Instagram bio.
All right, I got you.
All right, my brother.
I'm going to hit you up. Look forward to speaking to me, man. I'm Lorenzo.
Yes, sir. And the reason all those ideas like the Shy is so fresh is because they're letting young black creatives actually do their thing and the white people not getting in the way. Salute the leader wave. Creative Shy.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Stephanie, get it off your chest.
I was going to say that I went to the Salt Bay restaurant on Saturday and it was really bad. It's not worth it.
You went to Salt Bay's restaurant. What didn't you like?
I didn't like it because I ordered my steak medium well and I got it like bloody. It was bad.
Yeah, who eats medium well?
You shouldn't be eating medium well. When you go to those type of restaurants that you're supposed to get the texture and taste of a steak, it should be medium the most. Would the Salt Bay throw some salt on your steak or he wasn't there?
No, he wasn't there.
Oh.
It was disappointing.
I ain't gonna lie though, man. I no disrespect to Salt Bay. I just can't go nowhere where his thing is salt. Like salt has been killing black people for years. All right. All right.
I'm sorry you didn't like it. I mean the menu's mad small too, right?
Yeah, it was not worth it. And I love you, Charlamagne. I have your book. I'm waiting for you to sign it one day.
I will, baby. We got to figure that out.
Okay, I follow you on Instagram. My Instagram is Marla Stephanie.
All right, I'm gonna follow you, but you know I'm gonna follow you for as long as I can until the salt kills you. Okay?
Oh my goodness! Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. We'll find out who applied for an MMA license. It might be going down. We'll tell you about it when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. JNV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club.
Angela Yee quit? Or she still working?
Nah, she was in Puerto Rico for a fundraiser and she was supposed to get back at 5 a.m. but the flight was delayed, so she should be landing in the next 10 minutes and then bring her ass to work.
I doubt it.
All right, but let's get some the room report. Little Zed, he running. Roseanne pissed off a lot of people last week when he said Tupac's music was boring.
Boring music.
He said it was boring music, and then he said that the press, the media, they kind of mixed up his words.
The media twisted my words. I think Tupac is a legend. Tupac is definitely a legend. They just twist your words and they want you to hate me. Don't hate me. Positivity, everything.
See, I don't care if Lil Xan thinks that Tupac's music is boring, because music is subjective. What I disagree with and why he got dunked here today is because he gave Tupac a 2 on the clout scale. If you know what clout is, that's power or influence. There's nobody more influential than Tupac Shakur.
Well, he was in California over the weekend, and some high school students didn't like what he had to say. He chased his ass right up out of there. Like, he had to run to the police, like, please get me out of here.
See, there's a bunch of little kids who was in the house and riding in the car with their parents while they was playing Tupac Keep Your Head Up and Tupac Dear Mama and Tupac I Ain't Mad At You, and they know the importance of Tupac.
There was no physical fight, but he ran fast. He ran to a YMCA, and this is why he said he ran.
They're saying I am for the police escorting me away from a group of 20 people that wanted to jump me. You can call me a all you want. I'm not a gang-banging rapper. Am I supposed to act hard? Am I supposed to not with the police because I'm a rapper? Oh wait, I have to, huh? Because that's what cool rappers do, right?
Dropping a clue bomb for Lil Xan. I mean, he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know,
he said, I'm not about that life. Like, now I want no emergency about the jump.
It's not like he running around here acting like he Tekashi 69.
That's true.
Okay, like acting like he can't get touched. Tekashi 69 cannot run from anybody. No, he have police escorts. Lil Xan can.
Right. Yeah, he sure did. Now let's talk Floyd Mayweather. Now, it was rumors that he applied for an MMA license and was ready to fight, and they caught up with him and they asked him about it. This is what he had to say.
Did your team apply for an MMA license to fight?
Not yet. But everything takes time. Eventually, we're going to apply for the license and hopefully we can fight.
Okay, they said it might take you about 3 months training. I mean, I know you train hard.
I probably need a little bit longer. Even if it takes 6 to 8 months, whatever it takes, we want to make sure that everything is done correctly and everything is done the right way.
If Floyd Mayweather don't sit his 41-year-old ass down, if you're worth over $500 million and you're 41 years old, why do you want to get in the MMA ring?
I don't know.
Either two things are happening here. One, Floyd needs the money. He's having some type of money problems and he needs the money. Two, the fight will be rigged, because if they was really doing MMA, McGregor would wash Floyd money.
Maybe we'll see that.
Wash him.
I thought about the money situation too, but he's been buying to me like he just bought a jet, he just bought a new crib. If the money was crazy, he would stop.
You can't be that boy at 41 years old. I laid on the couch all day yesterday, and my knee was hurting. I don't even know why. I wasn't even doing nothing. I was sitting there reading a book. I'm reading Michael Bennett's Things That Make White People Uncomfortable. I'm reading the book, and my knee was just hurting. I had to go take a nap because my knee was hurting.
You had to take a nap because your knee?
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
Now he also talks about his fighting skills.
You know, my wrestling game is not that bad. On the scale of from 1 to 10, I would say it's probably a 7, and I think we can take it up to like a 9. Of course, my hand game is on the scale from 1 to 10, it's 100, and the kicking game on the scale from 1 to 10 is probably a 4. So we have to tweak a few things, then take things to the next level.
Same way McGregor looked like an amateur in the boxing ring, Floyd Mayweather will look like an amateur in the MMA ring. I don't care if he trains for 8 months to a year. It's just a different ball game.
But you'll watch it.
No, I won't.
You're not going to watch it?
I mean, maybe. I'm going to watch it. Because I want to see Floyd Mayweather really get his ass kicked. That's about it. But they're not going to let Floyd Mayweather get his ass kicked. The fight going to be rigged. Just like they didn't let McGregor really get his ass kicked. Like, if you watch that fight now, watch it in slow motion. A lot of pull punches from Floyd Mayweather Jr. against
Conor McGregor. They didn't want to hurt him too bad.
A lot of pull punches against Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Conor McGregor. Just go back and watch it.
All right. And lastly, April 7th. April 7th. Write that down on your calendar.
That's like Charlamagne the God Day in Columbia, South Carolina.
Well, Cardi B is going to be performing on Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
April 7th. Also, special guest is Chadwick Boseman.
South Carolina's own Chadwick Boseman. Dropping the clues bombs for Chadwick Boseman and Cardi B.
So April 7th.
Salute to Cardi B.
Make sure you tune in Saturday night.
Somewhere right now eating the chopped cheese. I think she's eating Chick-fil-A actually right now.
Yeah.
I just saw her tweet that.
Chick-fil-A?
That offset bought her from Chick-fil-A, but there's nothing like chopped cheese or something. Chopped cheese on a bagel. What y'all New Yorkers be eating?
Cream cheese?
Chopped cheese, man. What's the thing called? Chopped something. Chopped meat and cheese. I don't know, man. All I know is it ain't nothing better than Chick-fil-A with a chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit from Chick-fil-A, okay?
All right. Well, that is your rumor report. Now, when we come back, we have a judge in the building, Judge Faith Jenkins. We'll kick it with her next hour, all right? So don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Maria has
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club, and we got a special guest in the building, Judge Faith Jenkins.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
For having me. I'm great.
Now, the first thing when I saw you on the schedule, I said, this young lady she gonna make so much money in the future because she's a nationally syndicated judge, and they make a lot of money.
That Judge Judy does. She is the standard. So if I can get to like a fraction of what Judge Judy does, I'd be very happy.
Has she been on for how many years now?
So Judge Judy?
Yeah.
Oh, like almost 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, she court left, and then they found Judy. Judy was a judge here in New York, and they found her, and she brought the court back. So she was the only judge show on the air when she started, and she built an audience based on that. And when she started getting these great ratings, that's when they ran out and got Judge Mathis and Judge McLean and put them on the air.
I love all of that.
Is that stuff real or is it fake?
It's real. These are real cases. Yeah.
Real cases.
Real cases. We find them. People have filed lawsuits across the country. So we go in, we have runners that go into courts and read the case files and make copies and send them to our producers. And then we call people and say, hey, would you like, instead of court in New York hearing your case, why don't you come on the show? We'll pay for your airfare. You come on and let Judge Faith hear your case.
And they agree to be on there also? Like, do you get like a fee?
There's a small appearance fee, but it's the decision is actually binding. So they agree to binding arbitration.
So if the plaintiff has to pay $500, does the TV company take care of it or no?
Hell no.
You trying to give me till I see this today?
All right. When I first saw the name Judge Faith, I thought you was like a religious judge, like you did like spiritual court or something like that.
Spiritual court?
Oh, that's interesting, but no. Yeah, it's just regular small claims court, all kinds of cases.
Now walk me through it, because you were a criminal attorney.
Yes.
And I didn't go to college, so I don't know nothing about
criminal
this.
Prosecutor.
How do you go from criminal attorney to judge? Like, walk me through the
Well, I started out, I was a prosecutor here in Manhattan in the DA's office, and before that I worked for a really big law firm doing civil litigation. So I just had a range of experience, and what happened is the George Zimmerman trial happened, and I covered that case for all the networks every day. CNN,
like a journalist, reporter type thing?
As a legal analyst, analyzing the case, because I just left the DA's office where I prosecuted crimes here in the city. So, and I always say, once you go to the DA's office and you learn what really happens in Manhattan, you never look at the city the same again. But, and so they called me after I did that trial and said, we saw you on with Al Sharpton one night and Bill O'Reilly the next night. If you can handle both of these audiences, we think you could probably have broad appeal to do a nationally syndicated court show. So I never thought about it.
Oh, they came to you.
They did. They called me. I never thought about it, but I said, well, this seems like something interesting that I should look into. And I watched all the shows. I love the shows.
Did you have to go for more schooling to be a judge, or you already had all the degrees you needed to be a judge?
No, it's just experience.
Okay.
I had civil and criminal, and so it was just based on the experience.
Now, what do you say to people that get locked up, and sometimes the court gives them an attorney, allows them to use the state's attorney,
public defender.
Public defender. What do you think about people using public?
Because they got on us about this. We had a woman up here the other day. Actually, she's from New Orleans.
Okay.
And she was talking about her son ended up getting 40 years.
Wow.
And it's because
what?
So he did I guess it was attempted robbery. He had a BB gun.
He did a robbery with a BB gun.
But he didn't tell who the other people were that were with him.
Okay.
So she just thought he was going to get probation. The public defender said, it should just be probation. He was only 17.
Wow.
And they gave him 40 years.
That's Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. And, we have some very harsh penalties in the state. And especially, was he African American?
Yes, of course.
And, and that's just the way our system is set up. No mercy whatsoever, and especially for that young man, 17 years old. That's pretty outrageous. You said, what do I think about public defenders?
Public defenders, yeah.
Having worked with a number of them in the city, they get a bad rap a lot of times. But here's the problem. They're often so overworked. They have so many cases, such a high caseload. But every public defender I've worked with has been really dedicated to the cause. The problem is they are understaffed, they're underpaid, they are overwhelmed, and they don't have the resources of the state behind them. So it's already set up initially giving the state an unfair advantage because we have all of these resources to prosecute cases and they just simply don't have the resources. But when people say, I don't want a public defender, I want a real lawyer. I've heard people say that. So they are real attorneys and the hardworking, dedicated people, but they simply don't have the resources and they're so overwhelmed. What do you do when you have 300 cases on your docket? Can you return all your phone calls?
Like you said,
it's an unfair advantage built into the system.
So it's meant for the person to lose because you said the state has all the resources, but now the public defenders don't.
They simply don't have the time or the resources a lot of times to invest what they really need to invest in cases, which is why I always say there's rich man's justice and poor man's justice. If you can afford to have a dream team, your chances are, my law school professor asked me this when I was in school, would you rather be rich and guilty or poor and innocent?
Rich and guilty.
Because you know, there's so much that you can do when you have money and you can go in with your dream team and you have a great advantage in our system.
That's a great point, and I wanted to ask you, because you're a criminal attorney, how do people represent people they know are guilty? Like I think of the movie Devil's Advocate. You ever seen Devil's Advocate?
Yes.
Well, how do you represent somebody you know is guilty? And I thought about this when I was watching the OJ case the other night too.
Well, it goes back to a public defender. Don't you want everyone to have an opportunity to be represented? Everyone should have that opportunity, right, to have representation. So are we going to start deciding, well, this person is guilty, they should have a lawyer? Who gets to make that decision? So everyone, and so, but as an advocate, it's our job to simply put forth a case. Now, personally, I was never a criminal defense attorney. I was a prosecutor. Right. And people, when I started, Angela, I thought, I don't want to be a prosecutor because I don't want to lock people up. Right. But this is really important because everyone wants to be an activist now, right? Because the system is so set up, it's so messed up, everyone wants to be an activist. You have to understand, prosecutors are the most powerful players in this system. If you really want to make a change, you want to make a difference, they need people with different backgrounds, perspectives, right, who've lived different places. I was living in Harlem when I was a prosecutor in the DA's office. That's so important because most of my cases came from Harlem. So I had a different perspective. So it is a job. You have a duty to give people representation because you don't want to start drawing a line in the sand and say this person deserves it and that person doesn't. But also, people need to understand that a prosecutor's job, that's something you really want to look into if you really want to make a difference, is because a lot of times what happens with your case depends on who gets your case. That's a fact. You remember Plaxico Burress here in New York?
See him all the time.
He got 2 years and he shot himself, right, in New York. We have cases. I had a 17-year-old with a loaded gun. Whoever gets that case, you have a lot of power and discretion to make decisions about these cases. And that's why I say this is a really important job that people should consider when you're trying to...
You have the power to offer them a deal.
Yes.
You have a power to recommend a certain sentence.
Yes. Sometimes more than judges.
What to charge.
Is that fair? With? You know, because let's say you have, a white prosecuting attorney that is not from the same place that these individuals are from and don't know anything, you know? Like you said, you were from Harlem, so you seen what was going around in Harlem, so you kind of understood a little bit. So it's kind of scary if you have somebody that doesn't know anything about me, doesn't know about my community, and just says, okay, he has a gun, he's a hoodlum, I'm going to give him 4 years.
That's why she says it's an important job for people to look into if you want to be an activist.
Or if you want to make a difference, if you want to make a change, then bring your perspective to the table, have a seat at the table. And of course, to answer your question, yes, it's scary, but that's what happens. That's how a 17-year-old in New Orleans gets 40 years because someone doesn't have empathy. Someone doesn't care. Someone thinks, you know what, he did the crime, he's going to have to do the time.
He won't tell on his friends, we're going to make an example.
Make an example, punish him. And so, yes, it is scary. I had colleagues who would get that same 17-year-old girl who got a probation. In my case, some of my colleagues would have tried to give her the deal that Plaxico got because that was our standard plea agreement if you got caught with a gun 2 years.
So wait a minute. So if you get caught with a gun in 2 years, a gun in New York, I always thought that you automatically mandatory had 3 years. So
it's not mandatory.
3.5. 3.5. That's not mandatory.
That's the minimum if you get convicted of that top charge. But we plea our cases out.
So they have the right to give somebody community
Absolutely.
service.
I don't know about community service for a felony like that, but in my case, I believe that this young lady got probation.
Wow.
So absolutely.
I agree everybody should have the right to a lawyer, but sometimes you see some of these crimes and you're like, why waste taxpayers' money? Like the guy who shot up Parkland High School.
Absolutely.
That's him. What do you get the right to a fair trial and a lawyer and all that for? No, we saw that's a different, and those are extreme cases like that.
If I take my lawyer hat off for a second, I agree with you. I'm like, why? He's 19 years old. Even if he gets the death penalty, he's going to be in prison for 10 years waiting for that to happen, maybe 15 based on the way appeals are, and taxpayers are going to pay for it. It just seems patently unfair.
But the Central Park people, they thought they were guilty. The lady pointed them out. And if there was no trial...
But they deserve a lawyer. That's different.
But see, the issue is... Right. I mean, they confessed. That was a whole,
it was crazy.
But the issue, see, here's the problem. Like, when you start drawing that line, saying, obviously this person is guilty, he doesn't deserve it, it's just, that line just is going to keep getting moved. And that's why it's just better, have your representation, have the due process, and go forward with it.
You have to go across the board with everything.
You do, because I'm going to tell you that if your theory happens, the people who will be impacted the most will be our people. It will be people of color in the system, and they already have so many issues stacked up against them already. So I just... you just have to stick with the due process as you have it set up.
Even with the Central Park 5, they did admit, they confessed to something, but they were forced to do it.
Right.
And so imagine you're like, okay, they said they did it, so they don't deserve a lawyer or anything.
Exactly.
I understand that, but there are a lot of cases we see visibly. We didn't, Central Park 5 is a little sketchy, so that deserves representation.
They did the shooting. Nobody's seen it. There's no video.
Yes, there is. Go to sleep. Listen.
But what Judge Faith is saying is right. If you're going to do it, you have to be across the board, because then they say, well, we saw this, we saw that, and maybe, you just have to, I guess, when you set a standard, that standard
everybody
has
needs
to
fair
with due process.
Listen, with the Zimmerman trial, you covered that. Is there a way to be objective? Is there a way to be black and be objective in that situation?
I can't speak for all black lawyers who spoke out about the case on television, but I was asked to give an opinion on the case. And so every day when I watched the trial, it didn't matter if I was on Fox News or CNN, I gave the same opinion. I didn't change for, the different network that I was on. And it was my legal opinion based on what I was seeing. And I said on TV, I think that George Zimmerman is guilty and he should be convicted of this crime. But trials are not necessarily about getting to the truth, especially jury trial, because there's what actually happened, and then there's what you can present in court in trial. Those are two different things in a lot of cases, because jurors won't know a lot of the background. They won't know a lot of information that we knew, for example, in the Zimmerman trial. So you have to keep that in mind, and attorneys know when you're doing a jury trial, a lot of times it's about the emotion, and you are putting it all out there. You are acting in front of these jurors, and it's you're becoming angry, and you're making these insinuations. They won't say it, but this was a black kid and he was in a hoodie. What if this was your neighborhood? So a lot of that was going on in the Zimmerman trial, and they were in a bubble, right? They were this sequestered jury, but we weren't. And so I think that my opinion was based on globally what I was hearing and reading about George Zimmerman in that case.
As a criminal attorney, do you see how he got off?
Yes.
What were the holes in the case?
I think that it was more so about implicit bias and fear based on Trayvon being this young kid walking in this neighborhood, and they were able to plant seeds in some of the jurors' minds that you can understand why Zimmerman was afraid. Would you have been too?
Which is crazy, because he didn't seem afraid when he was pursuing him.
Definitely didn't
They told him not to, and to leave him alone and let him walk. That doesn't indicate fear to me.
Right.
That indicates that you are fearful.
Well, that was the argument. That was the state's case. The reason why the case went to trial was because he followed him, and he shouldn't have.
Yikes. Did you watch the OJ confession the other night?
I did not watch it, but I've read about it.
Was it a confession?
Apparently, it was a hypothetical. That's what people are saying.
Right.
But why would anyone ever think that that was a good idea? Like, even to put it out there as a hypothetical.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
You think they should amend the Constitution for double jeopardy laws when it comes to cases like this?
You think OJ did it?
I do. I do. Yeah. There's
some
just
people don't think
some people don't still, but I mean everything that happened with his blood being at the scene and the glove and the slow car chase in LA, the slow speed car chase. Yes, I do.
Were you happy he got off?
At the time, I was in Louisiana at the time. I was in school, and I will tell you that was a case, a trial, and I wasn't a lawyer then or anything like that. Like I said, I was in school, so
you were in middle school, right?
No, I was in college.
What? No.
Yeah, it was my first year of college.
In '94?
Yes.
I'm looking at her age, man.
And I just remember being in Louisiana, and it was the most racially divided time at my university. All of the black students, so they brought in TVs to our student union to watch the verdict.
Went into our class too.
Yeah, to watch the verdict live, and all of the black students gathered around on one side and the white students on the other side, and it was like what you've seen across America when the verdict came in. Yep. All the black kids cheered. And I thought he was innocent at the time, so I was like, yeah, and people had this, we're like, we won.
For once.
Yeah, for once.
And then later on in life, we realized OJ didn't give a damn about black people.
I'm like, wait a minute. What? And I hadn't really followed the case then. I was in school, so, but yeah, that was pretty divisive at our university.
Let's talk about you, because I need to know what your diet is. How much water you drink a day? Because you're 57 years old, clearly.
21 years old.
What's happening?
I just drink a lot of Fiji water. Is that Fiji?
Yes, Fiji.
There you go. There you go. Just finish that. You'll be good.
Are you vegan in any way?
No. I'm from Louisiana. I eat everything.
Yeah, you pork and all.
Pork and everything.
So there's no stress? Like, what is it?
I mean, I've had I try, Angela. I really do. I'm not out and, I've always just been like a good student, and I go to work and I sleep.
Stop it. You from Louisiana. Sleep. Mystical comes on, shake that ass.
Back in my day, I did have a time or two where
since you know because I go crazy.
As a judge on TV, what's the craziest case you've seen so far?
The craziest case?
Yes.
It was a case out of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. It was a real, filed case in Atlanta, and a guy who walked into my court looking like a deacon from church. He had on a suit and a boutonniere and all this stuff. He was suing a young lady. He was probably in 50 years old, and he was suing a young lady who was 21-year-old college student because he paid for services.
For sex.
Yeah, and she didn't give it to him, and so he filed a lawsuit.
He got.
He wanted his money back.
He wanted his money back. And so when I got the write up, I said, this can't be real. I must be missing something to this story. This was a loan, right, that he's suing for or something like that. No, I went out there. No, he's like, I paid her. I can't remember now, like $250 maybe.
Did she have to enroll, Judge?
Did she have to reimburse?
So that was the craziest case. Well, okay. Technically, that's a prostitution case, and that is illegal.
But he did pay for services.
He did pay for services, and he did not get them.
And she could get in trouble too.
However, she could get in trouble too. However, there's a doctrine in court. We call it the doctrine of clean hands, which means when you come into court, you can't sue over an illegal transaction. You can't sue over a drug deal that went bad. You didn't get all the stuff you wanted when you bought the stuff. So you gotta handle that in the streets. Like, you can't bring it into court. So I had to throw it out. But I was just shocked that not only is it court, but it's also on TV. And he had a daughter her age. It was just, I just thought it was crazy. But yeah, that was my first season. I've just never gotten over that.
What's your passion, like overall passion?
Overall, first, I love the law, so anything I do that's law related is great. And I love the show because we help a lot of people. I mean, if you watch, we have fun, we laugh, we cry, but we also help a lot of people because they come on the show, and $800 may not be a significant amount to some people, but to some people who come on the show, it's all the money they had. They were cheated out of it. So we have people who come on the show who've never been on an airplane before. They've never flown before, and we fly them out, and it's an experience for them in Los Angeles.
And sometimes there's families that are like beefing over money.
Yes,
it's kind of like a therapy session.
It is
when they come in.
It is, and so so my show is not just about the law. I'm passionate about the law, but we do so much more than that. We help a lot of people, and then beyond that, my speaking engagements that I do now to go and talk to college students and kids, like that is something I'm really passionate about.
I heard you were a fire speaker. Really? Yeah, I did see that somewhere.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
You just spoke somewhere, like on.
I did a keynote. Yeah, I did the keynote for Women's History Month at where was I? I was in. Was it Tennessee?
I heard rumblings of that speech of everybody. Okay. I saw some people talking about it.
Well, it's important because I don't remember when I was in school having someone like me come to speak.
Right.
And so it's so important. I know you all do this all the time, but it's so important for people to see someone like you as a realistic role model.
A black woman.
And that you can do this. And I tell them my story. If I can do it, I had no connections. My parents didn't graduate from college, so we didn't know anybody. I'm from Louisiana. And if I can do this and have this journey that I've had, then you can too. And that's just my message. So I tell people about my story and how I ended up with this show in LA. And I feel like I'm just getting started.
Are you a Miss America runner-up?
Yes, I was.
Tell us about that.
Yes, I was.
Tell us about that, Miss America.
You still look a little hurt that you didn't win.
You can tell?
Yeah, it is.
Actually, Judge Jenkins is winning in many ways.
Tell us about that.
Win that competition.
I did. It's true. I did not. That hurt. That was tough.
Who won?
Miss Hawaii.
Miss Hawaii.
I said I'd never say that name again. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, everything happens for a reason, right? Well, I had to say that at the time. At the time, it sucked.
Oh, you think
I was like, I don't know. I felt like I should have won.
So you were the last one.
And
You went on stage together.
Yes.
And then they went to, that's foul.
You know what? I said I never want to have a moment like that in my life again where I am on stage in front of millions of people and they decide my fate and I have to smile and hug the person who won and hug. And I was happy. I mean, I wasn't a bad sport at all. But I just, afterwards when the cameras went off, tears were just streaming down my face because I worked so hard and it's what I wanted at the time. But I always say, my mom told me at the time, she said, God has something better for you than Miss America. I was like, well, what is that? Because at that time I was like, well, this is pretty awesome. I want to do this. But as I looked at my journey, because I went right after I was Miss Louisiana, so I went right back to school and I got my law degree. And as I look at my journey and where I ended up, I couldn't do what I'm doing now without the experience, without going back to school, getting my degree. And this is, as my mom said, better than that, in my opinion.
Until you doing a trial case and you lose in front of everybody in the courtroom.
That happens. No, because it happens. I mean, it's just a part of your job. You don't win every case you have, and just like in life, you have things that happen, and somebody gets a second chance. It was a good day for them, apparently.
Now, Mrs. Hawaii comes up in your courtroom, right?
Guilty as charged. I'm just kidding.
Do you ever want to be a singer for real? Like
singer? You sing?
That was my talent, Miss America.
Oh.
That was my talent.
You won for the singing.
Thank you.
She know her as well.
She knows. I don't sing anymore. I haven't like.
I'm sure that's why you lost the whole game.
I was good back then. You got to keep the vocal cords worked out. That's the problem. I then became a lawyer and I stopped singing. I thought I can't do both of these things. No, I didn't. That was my talent at the pageant, and I was pretty good back then. I did win the talent competition. If I Could. Mm-hmm. So Regina Bell's version of If I Could was originally done by Nancy Wilson. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I saw you excited on Instagram about the Queens of Court promo. Do you have a relationship with the other judges? Like, do they embrace you? Or are they like a fraternity? Like, they keep you on the outside from them?
I would love to meet them. The only other judge I've met Judge Mathis.
I think he's so hilarious.
He's so funny. Yeah. He's so funny. I watch him all the time. And I met Judge Mathis and I met Judge Maybelline.
No Judy yet?
No, but I've been invited over to meet her. I'm still scared of
Maybelline is divorced.
I don't know.
She seems a little mean on TV, but I don't think
she's probably going to be really nice when I meet her, and certainly she doesn't see me as any competition. She's like, oh, okay.
It just means when they do dumb stuff, though.
Yeah.
Like when you're,
she hears people out sometimes.
But she just set the standard. Like she is, she is the standard. She's the #1 show in daytime TV.
Absolutely.
By far.
Absolutely.
So as long as Judy's successful, Court will always be around.
And your name is on the show. That's a big deal. It's like People's Court, Divorce Court, but then Judge Judy, Judge
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It's pretty good. No, I don't feel pressure.
Woo!
No.
We look forward to watching it some more.
Word, Judge Faith Jenkins. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's syndicated, so just check your local listings and follow my Instagram, Judge Faith Jenkins, and we post about the show, clips of the show, so you can watch some clips on there and then check it out on TV.
It's syndicated. I don't know.
That's right. She's syndicated. I respect it, man.
If we ever have a problem, can we come up there and maybe we want to sue each other?
Well, yeah, I guess you could, but our cap is $5,000. So just so you know.
We should take Joe Button on there. Joe Button.
I have a feeling.
Remember that bet you made on there?
That would be bad.
Can we do that?
And it was on the air.
On air and he lost.
And he hasn't paid up.
$1,000 each.
Okay.
That's the $5,000.
Okay.
He still hasn't paid.
Just so you know, now that I've met all of you, I will still be fair and impartial and judge according to the law. So you're welcome to come on anytime.
We have audio evidence. If somebody says something on the air, that is binding in court, right? If he says, okay, I'll make this bet with you right now on the air.
That's pretty compelling evidence, actually. Right? Yeah, because we get text messages. Well, I get everything now from as evidence. So that's pretty compelling.
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you, Judge Faith.
Judge Faith, man.
It's the Breakfast Club. Come on. Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club.
Salute to Judge Faith Jenkins. For coming through, dropping a clue bomb for her. 57 years old, doesn't look like a day over 22.
She might be 40, 41.
Doesn't look
maybe
a day
42.
over 22. She's 57.
She's not 57. Well, let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Drake. Now, Yee should be here in a second. Her flight landed, so she's on her way. So we'll see what happens due to traffic. All right, now, over the weekend, it seems like a lot of things were going on with Drake. Now, they shot the video to his record with the Migos. It's actually Migos' record, Walk It, Talk It. They had a cameo from Jamie Foxx. They shot that over the weekend. Also, Drake released his version of NERD's Lemon. All right, it was a remix. He actually did his OVO Sound Radio. Pharrell actually did a guest DJ mix, and they premiered it. Let's play a snippet of it.
I get it how I live it. I live it how I get it. Y'all don't really get it. I pull up in a lemon. Drops get to spinning. Money 3D printing. Never had a limit. Never been religious. I just always had opinions. My daddy told me, listen, you better get some money and I die, go to prison. So you see, yeah, I got rich and stayed free. Free the dogs, doing beat.
We're going to play the full version in the mix this morning.
That's some sound advice. You know what I'm saying? His father told him get some money and stay out of prison.
Yep.
This is some sound advice.
Now, lastly, it seems like Drake is in Wyoming right now, and that is the same place Kanye is. And they said he's not doing a feature. They believe it's more than that.
What?
Possibly doing maybe an album together.
By the way, why do people act like Kanye West didn't come on the Breakfast Club? What year was that? I don't even remember. 2015?
About 15, yep.
2015, and he said this.
The Wolf song came from a conversation that me and Drake had when we was going to do an album together. And the album was called Wolves.
So that's what we might be seeing. Now, so far,
I thought that wasn't the whole clip. The whole clip was like, this is an exclusive I'm giving y'all. We doing this album. Jesus Christ, gotta play the whole thing. The whole thing.
The producers didn't put the whole clip.
Jesus, what did this?
What?
Nothing. The moral of the story is Kanye West told us how many years ago was that? What years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago that him and Drake was doing an album called Wolves.
Now, also, the artists that have been seen in Wyoming, Travis Scott, The Dream, Nas, Lil Uzi, Kid Cudi. So we'll see what this album turns out to be.
All Kanye's usual ghostwriters. Okay, which means he's gonna drop a phenomenal album.
Collaborators is what they call it.
Whatever.
All right. Now, BET, in partnership with YouTube, is bringing back Freestyle Friday. You excited?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, this is what they're doing. They're getting a bunch of contenders from all over the country, and it's going to be like a rap battle. And then the winner will perform as the opening act for the BET Experience annual hip-hop show at the Staples Center.
I don't know if I like seeing the rookies freestyle anymore. I don't know if I like seeing the amateurs freestyle. Like, you got to be really, 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 really good. Because the bar has been set very high by, like, the professionals.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, they're going to be picking, I guess, they're going to pick somebody from New York, Toronto, London, Los Angeles. I guess the big major cities. They're going to pick one person that's dope, and then they're going to have whoever wins that is going to be performing at the BET Experience.
You think about, like, the Royce the 5'9" freestyle, and the My Son, and the Black Thought freestyle.
Right.
Like, you know, that bar's set pretty high.
There got to be some dudes that's spitting like that. Or close to.
I guess. I don't know. It got to be about bars, though. It can't just be about
a song.
The song.
No.
I want to hear real bars if it's going to be Freestyle Friday. And they did have some real lyricists on Freestyle Friday.
They did.
Back in the day. You had Jen, and you had the Poster. What was his name? Poster Boy.
Poster Boy. That's the only two I can remember. Poster Boy and Jen.
Yeah, I feel like I'm missing a lot. I know I'm missing a lot of people, but that was such a long time ago. You know what? F it. Bring it back. Who cares?
All right.
Not going to hurt nothing.
And that is your rumor report. Now, Charlamagne.
Yes.
What are you giving that donkey to?
We need O.J. Simpson to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with him, please.
Oh, boy. All right. We'll give it to O.J. When we come back. Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey of the Day for Monday, March 19th goes to Orenthal James Simpson, commonly known to the planet as the Negro who got away with double murder, O.J. Simpson. I'm at the point in my life where I just want O.J. to go away. I want O.J. to disappear, vanish. I want him to get so low that when he dies, we all say to ourselves, damn, I thought O.J. Simpson been dead. I have no idea why America is so obsessed with O.J. Simpson. Especially after what we saw last week with that If I Did It special. It's safe to say that the judicial system got it wrong. Happens all the time in America. Okay, ask the family of Trayvon Martin. But the same way I don't want to hear from George Zimmerman, I don't want to hear from O.J. They are both two sides of the same sociopathic coin. And I can't believe either one of them are still alive. Honestly, I thought some, white extremists would have taken O.J. out by now, and I thought a gangbanger who's really about that life would have taken out George Zimmerman by now, but alas, neither has happened yet, and George Zimmerman and O.J. Simpson, sadly, are still on the planet with us. Now, here's the thing I honestly thought. I really thought O.J. Simpson was innocent back in the day. I was in high school. I didn't really know all the intricate details of the case. I just knew, the Rodney King trial had just happened, and the cops who did that got off, and every rapper I enjoyed from L.A. was talking about how crooked the cops in L.A. were, so I thought they were just trying to frame O.J. because he was black. Now, this is before I found out later on in life that O.J. Simpson didn't give a damn about being black. In fact, he said, I'm not black, I'm O.J. I'm not black, I'm O.J. Yeah, so I wasn't one of those people who knew O.J. was guilty, but was still rooting for him to get off because he was black. I really thought he was innocent. And one thing we can all admit now is that those of us who rooted for O.J. to get off for whatever reason were absolutely on the wrong side of history. Can you admit that, Envy?
Yes.
Yes, okay. He told you himself last week, hypothetically, during that Did I Confess special, or If I Did It special, or Did O.J. do it, whatever the hell it was, he hypothetically admitted that he did it, and if committing the double murders doesn't convince you that O.J. is a psychopath, then him doing an interview detailing what happened when he hypothetically committed the murders should absolutely seal the deal on his psychopathic status. With that said, why do we care what O.J. Simpson has to say about anything? Case in point, the Buffalo News, the hometown paper of the NFL team O.J. once played for. They did O.J.'s first interview since he's been home from prison. And by the way, I'm glad print journalism is back, but nothing beats video and audio nowadays, especially at a time like this. Okay, if there's video and audio of this, my team couldn't find it, but the Buffalo News asked O.J. Simpson about several topics in the story published last Friday, and one of the subjects was on the good brother Colin Kaepernick. Drop on the clues bombs for Colin Kaepernick. The Buffalo News asked O.J. Simpson about Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem to protest police brutality. I repeat, the Buffalo News asked O.J. Simpson about Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem to protest police brutality, and O.J.'s answer was this: I think Colin made a mistake. I really appreciate what he was trying to say. I thought he made a bad choice in attacking the flag. Let's unpack that for a second. First of all, Arinthal, Colin did not attack the flag. Colin peacefully protested the flag, which he has every constitutional right to do, and he was kneeling during the national anthem to protest police brutality. See, attacking the flag would be Colin taking a knife and just violently cutting the flag to shreds. Okay, that would be attacking the flag. That's not what Colin Kaepernick did, OJ. That's what you and Charlie did when y'all killed Nicole Simpson and Ronald Goldman, hypothetically, okay? Peaceful protests and attacks are two different things. Colin didn't make a mistake. Colin knew exactly what his intentions were, and he did exactly what he intended to do, and that's bring light to a situation that needed to have some light on it. Now, if you want to talk mistakes, let's talk about the mistakes the prosecution team made during your murder trial, O.J. Simpson. Let's talk about the mistake the jurors made when they found you not guilty. Hell, let's talk about the mistake the police made by not taking Nicole Simpson's cries for help about your crazy ass serious, okay? How can you, a man, how can you, all right, a man who committed a double murder and then wrote a book about it and then did a TV interview hypothetically confessing to it, tell a man who was out here protesting police brutality they made a mistake? All right? I don't want to hear O.J. Simpson say someone else has made a mistake when he won't admit to his own. For all the kids out there listening, I don't want to be a moral police, but let's just say hypothetically Colin Kaepernick did make a mistake by peacefully protesting the flag. Hypothetically, of course, right? If I had to weigh mistakes, kneeling during the national anthem to protest police brutality, or hypothetically murdering two people, which mistake, hypothetically, of course, would you choose? What would you choose, Envy?
Kneeling.
Okay, just making sure. All right, Arinthal James Simpson, shut the F up forever. Please let Remy Ma give O.J. Simpson the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
Listen, kids, you can learn a lot from your mistakes when you aren't busy denying them. Absolutely. OJ will never learn from this situation.
Not at all.
He's too busy denying it.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today. Now, when we come back, shoot your shot. All right. If you want to shoot your shot with somebody, maybe a coworker, maybe a friend, maybe an ex, it doesn't matter. 800-585-1051. Tell us who you want to shoot your shot with. We'll do it when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Who's this?
Hi, this is Nick.
Nick, what's going on, Nick?
Not much, guys. How are you?
Everything is good. Now, what's going on, man? Who you want to shoot your shot with, Nick?
All right. Well, so I'm an Uber driver, and I actually have this client, passenger, that I happen to take around a lot. And, I've taken her home from work a couple times, and it's been really, nice. We have friendly conversations every time. We have a really good connection.
How are you getting the same person all the time?
Well, I guess, it's just it's in my, sort of neighborhood area.
Okay. I've seen that before. Sometimes when I call the Uber, the same Uber comes, but you could be stalking as well.
It sounds a little stalkerish. Are you purposely trying to make sure she's in your Uber?
No, it wasn't at first, but I mean, I'll admit, since I met her, it's been a couple of weeks, and I've been trying to stay within range of her job, hoping that I could maybe connect with her for a ride, because I just enjoy her company, and yeah, it's been a few weeks, and yeah, I haven't seen her, so I'm just wondering if I can...
You probably haven't seen it because you've been weirding her out every time she get into your Uber. So she probably calls your number, calls Uber, and when you pop up, she switches to somebody else.
Or maybe she has a ride to wherever she's going or something.
Mad negative, man.
Shut up.
All right, but go ahead. So
he has a point, though.
So do you know if she has a man or anything, or?
I don't know anything about that. I don't think so.
So what, you got her address? Why don't you just pull up to her crib?
Do you guys have good conversation when she's in the car?
Yeah, we do. I mean, she seems to really like talking to me, and I mean, it's just a good connection all around, So I have no reason to believe that she's weirded out.
What kind of rating does she give you?
What's that?
What kind of rating does she give you?
5 stars.
Rating? Oh, rating. She tells me that she gives me a full rating every time, 5 stars.
How do you rate her?
5 stars, of course.
You know it.
Okay.
All right. Well.
Wait. Is she always by herself, or is there any indication that she's dating someone? Does she talk on the phone? You could tell a lot about people's phone conversations when they're in an Uber. Is she calling her man like, "I miss you, I love you"?
There There's been no indication of that. I haven't heard her talking to anyone. You know, it's just like her going from home to work, and you know, she's talking to me the whole time. So
okay,
I don't think so.
So what you're saying is she's pretty easy to kidnap?
Wow, this guy. You guys, you watch too many movies, man.
All right. Well, let's call her when we come back. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We have Nick on the line. Now Nick's about to call Carly and see if we can make a love connection.
Hello?
Hey, Carly. It's Nick.
Nick.
It's the Uber driver, Nick.
Oh, hey, Nick. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry to call you out of the blue. I just, I wanted to reach out to you, because it's been like a few weeks since I've seen you, and I know, like, you know, I've driven you a few times here and there, and I guess I wanted to say that I really, like, enjoy your company, and, you know, thought maybe, like, we could hang out sometime.
Well, you know, I live with someone. I do have a boyfriend.
Carly, this is Angela, Envy, and Charlamagne from the Breakfast Club. And Nick was going to do a segment called Shoot Your Shot because he has a little crush on you, but
he decided to call Uber Pool instead of the regular Uber and bring us along with him, and he got his shot rejected.
Seems that you're in a relationship.
Well, it's not really rejected. I mean, I like his company too. We have a lot, you know, we joke around, we laugh, and yes, I have a boyfriend, but it's not working out. It's getting old.
Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
Don't listen to him. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I mean, what has your boyfriend done for you lately? I mean, I'm the one driving you around everywhere.
Oh my! And she's paying you. You ain't like you giving her free rides.
No, you're right in some ways. Like, he's never home. I'm always by myself. That's why actually I'm always calling an Uber, because he's never around to pick me up or take me to where I gotta go.
Well, but he won't do. The next man will. You know what I'm saying?
This is like a new TV show for the love of
Uber. You deserve a man who's gonna drive you places. And
oh my God,
Uber love. So and he'll drive you for free from now on.
Like, I like hanging out with you, so.
Well, you're very sweet. I enjoy your company also. I mean.
So is this going to be a love connection or not, man?
I know, because I'm getting.
I would really like to. I mean, I just, like I said, I'm living with someone. I'm trying to end it now, actually, but this may give me a reason to speed it up a little more.
Now, I just want you to know that he's going to have to charge you for this because you're past your wait time, all right? So now he's going to have to charge you for this, okay? You could have did this 5 minutes ago, all right?
Oh, the meter's running.
Yes, it is. My goodness. Well, I guess we've made a love connection, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, good luck, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it's the Breakfast Club. The Shoot Your Shot. Rumors are next. She made it back.
I'm here.
She made it back. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Aaron Hernandez.
Now, I know you guys have heard us talking nonstop about Aaron Hernandez and this whole Aaron Hernandez uncovered on Oxygen. Well, if you guys watched the docuseries, I know you watched it, Charlamagne.
Oh, I definitely did see it.
All right, you can see that his lawyer, who also is openly gay, talked about the conversations that he had with Aaron Hernandez about his sexuality.
I found it outrageous that the government would be trying to use someone's sexuality to prop up a case that they had no business bringing in the first place. Aaron and I talked about his sexuality. This man clearly was gay, acknowledged the immense pain that it caused him. He also came out of a culture that was so negative about gay people that he exhibited some self-hatred.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched this special last night, and other than it being tragically entertaining, I don't know the point of it.
Well, I guess there was a lot of information that came out after his death, after his suicide, and a lot of things that we never saw before, a lot of information that was never uncovered. And I know it has a lot to do with playing in the NFL and the effect of that. And
does it help his family? Like he was trying to, like, I was confused too. Like, why? It's an embarrassing to his family? Does he want his kids to see it? Like,
we now know him as a gay, gang-banging serial killer who played in the NFL and had CTE.
Right, and well, there were a lot of rumors about what happened and why he committed suicide, so I guess they wanted to just reveal more information on the case.
Yeah, but forget the suicide. Why did he kill somebody in the first place? Like, that's the thing. he killed somebody in the first place. He had a bunch of other run-ins with the law. Where he was
were they trying to say that it was because Odin knew that he was gay? And there was something like that.
I really don't know. They showed a kid.
It's a lot of speculation.
In college, when he hurt somebody, he allegedly killed the guy Odin. Another time he was hanging out a window shooting at somebody and he shot somebody and killed him. That's when he went to trial after the Odin thing and he got found not guilty. I don't know what the purpose of this whole story was other than it was tragically entertaining. That's it.
All right, well, again, that was on Oxygen, so you watched it.
And he was a tight end.
All right, now let's talk about what happened. And by the way, I just came back from Puerto Rico, right? We did an event with lottery.com, Power to the People. It was a free event, actually, for all the residents of Puerto Rico. And one person I saw who was actually on my flight back was Black Thought from The Roots.
Okay.
And they had a show at South by Southwest that got canceled due to a bomb threat. So I asked them what happened. I was like, I'm on my way to work. I just want to get information from you on what went down with this bomb threat. So from what he told me was they did arrest the person involved. His name is Trevor Weldon Ingram, and apparently the event was supposed to have 2,500 people, but of course, you know how they do, a lot more people RSVP'd, so it was kind of a first come, first serve. You get in, I think like 5,000 people RSVP'd, so I guess Trevor couldn't get in, so he decides to call in a bomb threat and say everybody that goes is going to die, there's a bomb if you got in. So they had to cancel the show, which was very unfortunate for everybody involved, but for safety purposes, when something like that happens, Bud Light did say, okay, we're not going to have this show anymore. So
I've done that once in my life.
You called it a bomb threat?
Well, I was promoting a party and nobody was at my party and it was all at this other party.
So you did it for the other party?
Definitely.
You were foul.
I am. I was a grimy individual. I am.
But you know, I guess you can never be too careful because there actually were bombs that went off in Austin. 3 bombs in 10 days.
You go to jail for that too, you know that?
Yes.
I didn't actually make the phone call.
Oh, now you didn't make the phone call?
I didn't. One of my homeboys made the phone call, but I definitely masterminded the whole thing. This was a decade ago.
All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that's your Rumor Report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Shout out to Revolt. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Did you have fun doing a Rumor Report without me? Because I had so many stories here that I wanted to get into.
No.
There was Tekashi 6ix9ine versus The Game. Did you guys talk about that?
Yeah, no, we didn't. But there's nobody around that kid that loves him. All the OGs around him are feeling that little boy. That little boy gonna get hurt, and you know people are placing bets on how much time he's got left before something tragic happens to him. In the famous last words that a lot of people have said that he keeps saying is, "I can't be touched." Those are famous last words for a lot of people.
All right, well, let's get to the mix. We're gonna start the mix off with Amara La Negra. This is